Team Shine. Happy Friday. I am here to talk about earning the amazing incentive trip this July to go to the Dominican Republic, to go to Punta Cana. So it looks like nobody is on here on the Zoom call. So if you're watching this from the recording, you can comment and ask any questions, and I am happy to answer anything. I will start off. Obviously, I haven't introduced myself. I'm Erin Stormer. I've been a rep for about 3 years. 3 years in, I think it was April or May, this upcoming April or May. So I have been around for a while, and I've seen a lot of these incentive trips. And let me just say, oh, I have someone that's coming on. So hold on. Hi there. Hi.
Just me?
It's just you. So we get a one-on-one, but I'm actually recording too. So then if someone wants to watch it later, I'm Erin.
Hi, I'm Naseem.
I'm Naseem. I don't know that I know you, which is like so crazy because we used to know everybody, but now the team is so big. So tell me how long you've been a rep for.
So I can't remember exactly whether it was October or November, but okay. Penelope had me come on, and she's fantastic.
Amazing. Yes. And then Meredith is amazing. So you've got like a whole great group.
Yeah.
I'm sure lots of resources at your fingertips too with that. What is the team name, Meredith's team name?
So I think Meredith's is Zitastic.
Zitastic. I think
is right. Yeah. Team Shine. Yeah.
Amazing. Okay. So I was starting, and now I'm just going to kind of recap what I've already said, which hasn't been too much. And then this is going to be really informal. So anytime, just ask questions, and I'm just going to talk for a few minutes, then we'll answer any questions. So you know about the trip, obviously. And this is, if you aren't familiar, the most, if this is a word, earnable, like it's the most achievable trip that I've seen. I've been a rep for 3 years. And in the past, it's been one of those, wow, this is really daunting because it was focused more on recruiting. This year, it's focused on parties. And so it's really achievable for everybody to get this trip. If you don't already, do you have this little like tracker sheet? Okay, awesome. You are like well on your way, my lady. Okay, so I have this somewhere hanging all the time, so I know exactly where I'm at. And I think that that is something that having it printed off, having it where you can see it, there's an accountability there. So I feel like that is, if you're not doing that, for everybody that might be watching this, print this off. I will put it in the comments. And every day, just do a little check-in. So really quickly, I'm going to go over. So we're 1/3 of the way through the qualification period, a little bit more now. So ideally, you do have some points, but let me just say that if you don't have points, it is okay. So you have to have 45 points total. I'm going to quickly review how you can go about getting the 45 points. And then I'm going to give you some things that I've been doing that have been really helpful to earning the points myself. So it's 1 point for every 3 by 200 parties closing. So honestly, don't even focus on that. At this point in time, you need all the points you can get. And that's just not 1 point here and there. It's not going to get it for you. 1 point for a $600 party. And then really the ones that you're going to really want to focus on are the $1,000, which is 3 points, and the $2,000 party, which is 7 points, and then rank advancing. So that's the things that we're really going to talk about today, are the larger parties, how you get them, and then rank advancing. So I recently, when I first started out, we did more in-person parties and we did virtual parties. It was kind of like a combination. And then everything went into lockdown and we couldn't gather. And so everything was virtual, and that was awesome. But I've been recently having more in-person parties. I don't know, have you done any in-person parties before? Okay, they are great. So if you have the ability to be in person, I'm going to tell you why it works really well. It's just a few hours of your time. You're not posting day after day after day. You don't need as many people, because if someone's going to the party, they're likely going to purchase. So I had an in-person party this past Sunday. There were 12 people there. Everybody purchased. So if they're coming, you have a very engaged audience, where I feel like with virtual parties right now, with Facebook parties, not everybody's engaged, not everybody's checking. They might miss the window. They don't know when the party's closing. They might miss some of your posts. You have a very engaged audience. And I quite honestly, I had people at this party on Sunday say to me, I've been wanting to buy, but I wanted to touch and feel the clothes. So they didn't want to buy online, even though we have a return policy. Some people just really like to know what that material is like. Now, I just had my personal collection of clothes, which I've been rep for 3 years, but I have a fair amount, but I really try and focus on just what's in stock and new. So if you have something that we don't have a ton of stock in, don't even focus on it. Don't bring it with you. It's okay that you don't have every size. I had girls there that were extra, extra large. I didn't have their size. They still ordered because they could at least get a sense of the sizing, and they could get a sense of what that felt like, the compression level. They could get a feel, even though they maybe couldn't try on their exact size. I also feel like when you are in person, you can be more of a personal shopper than when you're virtual. So I talked for maybe 5 to 10 minutes, and then just about like general Zaya information. I kind of highlighted some of the clothes, and then I became a personal shopper to everybody that was there. So not only did they get exactly what they were looking for, but hopefully that's going to cut down on any sort of exchanges, because I really helped tailor to like what their size is and to what they're looking for. So I think in general, it's going to be a much simpler on the back end type of a party when you go in person. So I think you can do this in your own home. You can have a host open up her own. I got there 20 minutes before. I did a quick little setup. I talked for 5-10 minutes. We left it open for 2 hours. People were like drinking and eating. And it was fun. It was like super laid back. Everybody was in good spirits. It was a bunch of moms that were away from their kids on a Sunday afternoon. It was just really nice. And I think there's an energy there too, when one person's talking about something and they're like, oh, what are you looking at? So there's like that camaraderie that happens, and that, oh, that's cute. Maybe I want to try that too. So I definitely suggest to have as many in-person parties as you can. And for hosts right now, chalk up the double rewards. That's all month long. So this is a huge month. We probably will not see that in March. So this is a huge month to get as many parties on the books as you can. And you can book, you could do Sunday afternoons, you could do evenings. It is probably going to be dependent on your host schedule, but really a few hours out of your day. I do a little bit of prep work. I'll tell you what I include. I have like a few of these. They're like size guides that I just bought, like a plastic display. You can buy like a 3 or 4 pack on Amazon. So I do legging chart, just make sure you're getting updated ones, bras, joggers. And then even though our catalogs are not up to date, because how can we possibly with new releases every week, bring these, because it gives a sense of the products. It gives a sense of Zaya sizing. And then, I don't know if I said this before, but I gave free shipping to everybody. So I just purchased like a large gift card. So then that code was just ready to go. Oh, I didn't bring this down, but I had my order form. When you're rep kit, you got that like pack of order forms. I brought that, and I just had everybody fill that out. And some people wanted to process their order there. And then other people said that I could just process it later. So they just included all of their information, and I processed the orders that night and then that next morning. So it really was all in total hours spent, 6 hours maybe that I spent, and it was a $2,000 party. And I just think that you're going to have right now, just given people wanting to kind of get together, and I think people are kind of not as interested in the virtual parties. At least that's my personal preference. If you are having success with virtual parties, keep it up. But I think in parties is a really great way to go. And you can do a combination of the two. I had another girlfriend a few weeks ago that we started a virtual party. And then I dropped off the clothes at her house on Friday. And then anybody that wanted to just came and tried on. So you can kind of do a combo party too. So that is huge for what I would recommend for parties. Also, I'm sure a lot of you are already doing this, but mystery hosts, especially this month, like in your VIP groups, take advantage of the double host rewards because you can hopefully give away more items if you're doing a mystery host. Are you familiar with mystery hosts? I'm sure you are. Yeah. And then I also do this, and this one's a little bit, we don't have a ton of time right now, but I will say that there are a few of my really good customers that they have their own link. So they place all of their orders and it's almost like their VIP link. But what you could promote to them right now, since we're like on a little bit of a shorter window, if you want to try and get to like $1,000 or $2,000 party, have them share their link with their friends. And it's not necessarily a party, but it's going to get you more dollars and obviously then more points. Okay, so do you have any questions about anything I said about parties? Okay, and then we're going to talk about rank advancing. So if you don't have these forms, are you a junior? Are you a rep? Okay, if you don't have these forms, print off the jump to junior rep. They're for every level. Senior rep, I just printed off a few, director. So these are available. I'll put them in the comments too, but these are available under, I think they're in the new training for Team Shine. And again, just like with the tracker for here, post this somewhere, have it be accessible. So you're looking at it, holding yourself accountable. And the thing about if you are a rep going from junior to senior rep, that is very achievable to do in 1 month time, to go from rep to senior rep. So as you get further along, it's a lot harder to do in 1 month's time. Some take a year to get to, but these two first are very achievable. And if you rank to junior rep, it's 3 points, senior rep, it's 6 points. So you're at 9 points from rank advancing, and you could do that with just one other person on your team. I actually rank advanced to director with just myself and one other person because we just had like a ridiculously amazing month. We both did. That's probably not very common, but it can happen. So junior rep, let's just go through. You basically need your first level to have $600 in volume. And then it's $1,200 for senior rep, and your overall group volume for senior rep is $2,000. So that is very achievable to do in 1 month time. And honestly, if you have one person sign on this month, they'll get that discount, that 5% discount for the next few days. And then you could do that. You could set some sort of incentive for them to try and hit that $1,200. I mean, if they're hosting like a launch party, you could easily hit $1,200 in a launch party. So that is very achievable, and that's going to give you the 9 points. And then if you're trying to hit director, that's 8, and senior director, that's 10. So what I would suggest doing is wherever you're at in that 45, so I'm at 24 points. So like now I'm like breaking down, okay, I have 2 months, divide it by 2. How many do I have to get each month? And then how many parties am I going to have to host? How many realistic like parties on the books, but then how they're going to do. You can kind of probably get some bit of a sense like this party's probably going to be around $1,000 party. It can sense this one's going to be a $600 party. How can I beef it up to get to 1,000? You know, you might have to get a little creative. Think about like using rewards to maybe give away a pair of leggings in a party if you feel like you want to get it to that next level. So that is, I think that's basically, let me just see, everything that I wanted to share. I'll leave it open if you have any questions.
I
And
mean, I think
then,
you've covered kind of the basics
yeah,
of like what's possible.
yes,
I think for me, it's like literally how,
yes,
because January felt slow
yes, it did for a lot of people for sure.
and even, I mean, I did fine,
Yes.
but I'm at like 2.3 points
Okay. All right. So
in the
you
point
really
system.
have to like hit it
But
hard.
because I also held, so I had 1,000, like my own link
Yes.
was over 1,000. And I was like, well, if I close it, then I only get 3. But if I wait and close it at 2,000, I get 7.
Totally. I
So
know.
I didn't close it.
Yep.
So I do technically have a few more points like in my back pocket. And
Yes.
one of my other people who has their own link moved her party to February because she wanted to align it with her birthday, which
Okay.
ended up working out
Amazing.
great.
Yes. Amazing.
And it's actually on Make Room Monday, which
Oh,
her
amazing.
friends actually, it's going to benefit them. So I do
Definitely.
think that one will get high, but she
Yep.
also didn't close her link.
Good. Okay.
So,
So you need to,
but I don't have a lot of other parties happening. And I
okay.
think that's where I'm struggling is my friends are like, we're kind of over you talking about Zaya.
Yes.
And so the whole, like my whole first pass, and I had a great kickoff, but nobody joined the team.
Yeah.
Everyone purchased, which is great because they got to experience the product and everybody looks amazing and feels amazing. But I guess I'm struggling with like,
Booking the
I
parties.
somehow can't get a rep because if I could get a rep, I could actually give them one of my parties.
Right. Right. Okay. So I would say a couple of things. Maybe could you do an open house in your house?
I
Like,
could. People are really sensitive right now, and I don't have a lot of product. Let me just
okay.
say that. Like,
I think that's okay that
and
you
I
don't
only
have a
have
lot of
my
product.
size, and then people look, I'm small,
Yes.
very small.
Yes.
And people look at me and they're like, well, of course it's going to look good on you. And I'm like, I
Yeah.
really wish I could show you that it looks amazing on other
I
people.
know. I know. So I think that that's a great reason to have it in person because you can communicate that. I feel like it comes across better in person than it does over the computer or virtually.
Yeah.
So I would say, even though you don't have a lot of supply or stock, you can talk to all these points. You can talk to how it looks amazing. You can pull up pictures on your phone while you're talking to them. This is a great option for you at this size for what you're looking to do. I think it's okay that you don't have a ton of inventory. I would say people have been more receptive to me lately in doing in person than
Okay.
virtual. I think people are just in my own world kind of not as interested in the virtual. And then from that party that I had on Sunday, I booked 3 more in-person parties. So right now, think about that, the fact that that one party that you have in February, tell yourself, okay, how many do you want to book off of that party?
Okay.
You
That's good.
know, and then try and get a few more, and then just say to yourself, I'm going to book this many from, because it just takes one to open up a whole new group of customers. And then what I find is that when you reach them after they've just tried on your clothes, they're feeling amazing. That's when you hit them up for, let's have your own. We can do it however you want. I can come set up something in your house, be something super simple. And I really think the no pressure, like I just talked for 5 minutes and I just said, okay, you guys can enjoy each other, socialize, where people don't feel like they have to, but then they
Yeah.
just naturally do, because then people start looking and then they start talking about it and they're drinking wine. So I think that I think it's very possible. I think you have to just get a few more booked and then tell yourself from those booked, how many you want to get out of those that for future from that one party booked. So, and then for your own link that has the $1,000, I get creative. Like you could do the lugging challenge where it's like after 10 people buy, there's a bunch of different ones. Then you give away a free pair of leggings, or you could do a jogger challenge, or you could do the mystery host to get yourself to 2,000. Because I agree with you. It's 3 points versus 7. That makes a big difference. So I think that shooting for the $2,000 party is a good option. And then any of those people that are your hosts, obviously you're going to be presenting the rep opportunity. And then if you can get one of them to sign on, you could get that senior rep within a month. You really could. I've seen people triple rank advance within their first few months. So they did junior, senior director in one, like their first month of being a rep. So it is possible. I'm not saying it's not challenging, but I want you to know that like you still very much have the ability to rank advance 2 to 3 and earn this trip. I really do think that you have it in you. And I can tell if you're here today, you're showing up for your business and you're motivated and you're trying to get creative. I believe in you.
Thank you. Yeah. I mean, it's new for me and I'm like way out of my comfort zone, but I've loved every moment of being out of my comfort zone because I feel like, okay, it's time to get creative. And
it's really great. I remember the first year I signed up that we had like, I didn't even know that they did these trips. I was very clueless. And I was like, oh, there's absolutely no way. So I love that you are trying. I just remember thinking like, I'll try next year. Like I'm too new. I'm just going to like figure this out first. Because that feels very daunting. But this, like I said at the beginning, this trip, the fact that it's focusing on parties, it does make it more achievable. When we had to, I don't know if you know this, the one in the past, it was, you had to basically recruit 3 people every month and get 2,500 in PV 3 months in a row to get the trip. So it was a lot harder to do because you were recruiting 9 people in 3 months' time. So, but this, especially with your amazing upline, I feel like you can make this happen.
I agree. All right. Well, I really appreciate your time.
Oh,
and
sure.
I know other people are going to really benefit from the information you shared as well.
If you have any other questions that you think of, you can comment on the post that I'll make later.
Okay.
Nice to meet you. Bye.
Bye.